when I started my business, I was just kind of looking for something to be my own, because I had a lot of people like starting things and doing things. I was like, oh, I kind of want to be a part of that because it's like different.
Welcome to A Dope Conversation, the podcast where entrepreneurs, creatives, and innovators share their journeys, the struggles, the wins, and everything in between as they build meaningful businesses. Hosted by Jake Wagner, marketer, photographer, and entrepreneur, this is a space for raw, unfiltered conversations with people forging their own paths. From success stories to hard-earned lessons, we keep it raw, real, and always dope. So let's get into it. This is A Dope Conversation.
Dude, I'm doing so good. Monday has been, it's a beautiful day actually. So I've just been vibing this whole Monday morning, and knowing that I get to do this podcast with you today is like starting off the week strong. I'm really happy about it.
I love that, man. I felt the same way. I woke up today. It's a beautiful day. I got to drive up here knowing that I get to talk with a really good friend of mine, a fellow entrepreneur, just an amazing human altogether. And we get to do this on a Monday morning.
Yes, sir.
That's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Harmon, welcome to the podcast, brother.
Thank you, dude. Jake, it's an honor to be here. I'm so excited to be on the podcast with you and just kind of share what I got going on, man. I'm so glad.
Good, man.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump right into it. Who are you and what do you do?
All right, guys. I'm Jeffrey Harmon. I'm the owner and lead detailer of Jay's Squeaky Clean Auto Detailing. We're a mobile detailing company in Grand Rapids, Michigan. But being mobile, we go as far as like Chicago, Illinois, to even Traverse City and beyond. So we take the convenience to a next level for our customers, and that's really what stands us apart. But yeah, man, I'm so excited to be here. This is exciting.
It's dope, man. I'm glad you're here. You were one of the first individuals, entrepreneurs who I really wanted to have on the podcast, because I find your energy, your perspective, your lens in which you view how you provide your services to clients and how you are ultimately there to offer them value. I saw that like very early on. You actually detailed me in my girlfriend's cars.
Yes, I did.
Maybe a little over a year ago or something like that. And I just saw like the level of detail and care and time that you put into your craft. And
yeah,
I really want to lift up and collaborate with individuals who do that to the level they do it, because I appreciate that art.
Well, I mean, yeah, you get it. That's why you appreciate it so much. You do an awesome job as well, like with all the content and creation you do with your clients, and the energy you bring too, man. That's what we vibe so well, because we both have the same energy, and we get it, and we're hustlers and want to kind of just do something different and not be told no anymore. So I think that's why we connect so well, and I'm excited to do more of the podcasting and networking in the area as this year goes on. Because it's my first year being full time with it too, so it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, so let's talk about that, man. You recently made the jump to full time entrepreneurship. It's so new that this is going to be your first full week at it. Yeah,
first full week at it. Last week I started out the week strong with people just booking. So I opened up the floodgates, and I had this mindset change of like, okay, I'm limiting myself. I'm like kind of hindering what I can do, what potential I can actually like reach. And I, finally said, you know what, let's open 6 days a week. Let's promote it. Let's see how that goes and see who books. And, I was right. I was limiting myself, and people want convenience so they can book when they want to book. And I filled up the whole weekend last weekend, and I quit my job on Thursday. I quit my job on Thursday last week. And it was the best decision I ever made, because I couldn't offer them a notice. I got business right away. So my business was thriving, and it just put a smile on my face. I was free. I was free of like constraint of like time limit. And now this week alone, we have a full week. Like we're fully booked. And I don't think anybody else has probably felt that way that I know with like doing this business jump. I feel like some people are a little bit more hesitant, and yeah, I'm like shook that it's like here. Like today's Monday, we have a full week booked. I had people call me this morning, and we're not going to stop. So if you're like an entrepreneur, like somebody that's like a wantrepreneur, have you heard that reference before?
I have, yes.
Yeah. So like people that, you know, are like between their full-time job and then like their side hustle, and they're like, okay, well, what do I decide on doing? There's no right time. I know everybody says that, it's kind of like that cliche, but it's true. There is no right time. So get your kind of steps in that work for you. I journal a bunch. So I wrote down like my kind of plan. I talked to a bunch of people. So I've been networking for the last 6 months. I've been promoting my business. So I have like a structure set up that I put out there every day, and it's on different platforms. I got my savings in check. So like, you don't have to have a lot of savings. Like we just bought a house last year. So like, we're not like loaded with savings, like, but I got a few months, and then you have to figure out what you want to show as your availability. So for me, my business is kind of structured that I have an online scheduler. So I have the convenience, like, it's different for everyone's business, but it worked out that I opened up 6 days a week, and it gave me the opportunity to say, I'm done with my full-time job. I'm fully going in, and yeah, I mean, everyone's supporting me. It's so exciting. Like I can't get the smile off my face. I probably won't ever let it go, because I'm just like, this is the best feeling in the world, to be an entrepreneur and having a successful business. Like it feels good to be in the good right now. So,
man, so let's walk through that process, right? Because I went through a similar thing about 2 years ago when I left my job.
Yeah.
What is that process leading up to, like, okay, you know, this is something you want to do full time, you want to do as your main thing. You know, you got to get some things in place. And then at one point, it's all going to make sense and it's going to align, and you're going to take the jump. And from conversations we had leading up to that, it's like you had an idea of the time in which you would do that. But what ended up happening was you decided on pretty much the night before that you left your job that it's like, no, this is the time to do it.
Yeah.
Walk me through those stages leading up to that, including some of like the hesitancy that you mentioned.
Yeah.
But getting to a point where it's like, this is the only option at this point. This is what I have to do now.
Like I said, it's all about like the mindset. So me and probably like majority of entrepreneurs that like start up, you have so much like of imposter syndrome and like self-doubt. Because you're looking at everyone else and you're kind of like, oh, well, they're doing better, and like you're not. And it's really about reflecting inward and rephrasing how you look at things. So instead of saying, well, if it gets busy, no, it will get busy. So like changing that wordage and also kind of speaking it out into existence is really what I did for the last 6 months. And it just changed my life. And last week, what really turned me was I booked 2 details Monday for Tuesday. And the guy was like, hey, I need this. My other detailer, you know, he just wasn't doing the job right. And like, you know, I really want someone new. And I saw your Google reviews and you have really good reviews. And I see that you're open 6 days a week. So I already opened the floodgates, waiting for things to like come through. And so now that I was getting more phone calls because people were seeing that I'm available, even though I had a full-time job, I had to kind of make a decision. So I called in sick and I took those 2 details for that day. And it was the best idea ever, because it really showed me what I've been missing out on and that I was holding myself back. And so now after that, I have the hard conversations with myself. I had the hard conversations with my fiance, Sabrina, who has supported me like forever. And she's like, okay, we're on a walk. We're just doing our thing. I'm like, hey, I think I'm going to quit my job on Friday. And she's like, okay, are you going to offer them like a 2-week notice? And I was like, yeah, I really want to offer them a 2-week notice. But she's like, wait, aren't you booking next week? Like, aren't you booked on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? I was like, yeah, you're right. Well, maybe they'll be okay if I like offer them this and this. And she's like, really? You're going to offer them a 2-week notice, but not a 2-week notice? And I was like, that's a good point. And I was like, I didn't think of it like that. I was just thinking of trying to be a yes man. And I said, okay, done with that. I can't help everybody. I can't fix everything. What's going to be the best for me and my business? And so I said, yeah, I got to do what's right for me. And then I told her right then and there, I was like, I'm quitting my job and I'm going full time and it's going to work out. And I just knew from that moment. And she's like, let's go. So she was all on board. I put my resignation in that morning on Thursday. Halfway through the day, they were like, hey, we'll take your resignation now. And then we wish you luck. And I was like, thank you so much. Great opportunity. We left on good terms still, even though I couldn't give them a notice. And right after that, more people booked. So I knew that I made the right decision because like the universe was telling me more people are booking. There's more opportunity that's going to be coming. And I had so much freedom. I felt so free. I was able to go on a walk. It was a sunny day. So that was like also like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like it's sunny out. Yeah. This is meant to be even more. And after that, I couldn't stop smiling. And I look forward to like taking this even further with, my own podcast, with doing podcasts with people like you, Jake, with like meeting other business owners like you. And that's what I'm really excited about with this freedom of having one all-in job that I can give my full attention and passion to. Yeah. And what do you feel when what happened when you left your job? Actually, I'm curious of how that went. Yeah. Because I was like, I don't remember that full story.
Yeah. And I don't know if we knew each other at the time yet. I think we would have met just a couple months after that. But yeah. So I knew from like an early stage in life that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just didn't know what exactly I was going to do.
Right.
So as a kid, like I was always dabbling in all these different types of things. As I graduated college and was in the professional world, still I was dabbling in all kinds of businesses. I did e-commerce stuff. I did at one point I tried to open a cleaning business. Both those failed, right? So I knew I was on to just wanting to be an entrepreneur. At one point, marketing and social media, that was what my day job was. So it just made sense. Like I'd just start freelancing in that. So that's kind of how that started. And I did that on the side of my job for maybe 4 years, I think. And throughout that entire time, I knew like, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to get into. And I remember, early in my career, like I was making the plan to jump like well before I was capable of doing it. I kind of did a lot of the things you mentioned. Like I got my savings in order. I made sure I had work coming in, this, that, the other thing. But it became clear like before I even took the jump that I was not ready to do this. Right. So, and then after that, I think I actually took a year off of my side hustle, just because I kind of felt a little lost, and I was just like, well, maybe I should just focus on this right now, and so on and so forth. Eventually got back into it, started like ramping up work again. This time we were doing more photography as opposed to like social media work. Right. And then just carried that on for a few years. I think I got to a point, it was December of 2022, and I just was kind of at a point, that's when you do like your end of the year check-in with your boss and you kind of wrap the year up and reflect on everything. And as I was reflecting on things, I was just kind of like, man, I just don't know how much more of this I want to do. And I loved my job. Like for perspective, I really loved my coworkers, my boss, like everything was good, but it just kind of became to a point where I was like, I don't think this is what I'm meant to do anymore. And while I was like searching what I wanted to do, the only thing that made sense was like, yo, you should leap full time into your freelance gigs.
Right.
And I entertained that idea for a little bit, and I think I said, well, let me go. At the time we were going away for the holiday break, and I had like 2.5 weeks off. So I was just like, let me just sit on it and see how I feel when I come back to the new year. Maybe I'll be refreshed. Maybe a break is all I need. So when I got back, it was clear. I was like, yeah, this isn't it anymore. I think we need to start making a plan to exit. And by my birthday, which is February 7th, I was like, all right, I'm going to put in a resignation around my birthday. And it may have been the day before or day after. I cannot remember. I think it was the day before. Went to my boss. Me and my boss, we had a good relationship. I told him it's time to have that conversation again, because I had it with him years prior when I ultimately didn't take the leap. But I was like, I think it's time to have this conversation. He said, I think I feel something's different this time. And I was like, I think you're right. So I put in.
Well, that's a good boss, man. I mean, you don't get that very often, that good relationship.
Yeah, man. In hindsight, I'm so thankful for the organization I worked for, because they allowed me to do this on the side with no issue. They said, yep, just take care of your day job and do whatever you want in addition to this.
Not a lot of people get that, man. That's good for you.
No. So
that's good support.
I gave him a 3-month notice. We worked together to kind of transition out of that. That 3 months went so much faster than I thought it would. And before you know it, I was by myself. What's interesting is with that 3-month like planning process, I had a lot of time to like book a lot of work that I could jump into, which was nice.
Yep.
The week that I left my job, one client calls me, says, hey, we can't do this project anymore due to budget. I understand, things happen. Lost that client. Another client calls me and says, hey, we have to reschedule this because things aren't aligning. Okay, lost another one. A third client calls me, and this was like this was the client who actually like, they lined up so much work for me. I was like, oh, I can leave my job.
Yeah.
They had to back out on all of it because of something internally, or I don't know what the case was, but it was like $10,000 worth of work that I was going to jump into. It was all gone.
Yeah.
And it's not that I didn't have other work lined up, but I was certainly in this, last week, my job, I'm like, what am I jumping into? Because right now, that jump doesn't seem so, I can't see where I'm jumping to. And that was frightening, to say the least. But I just kept the faith and said, you know what, this will work out. We'll figure it out.
Changing that mindset.
It's so important.
Yeah.
It's I often say, like, you have to be able to hold on a lot in entrepreneurship, because often it seems like things may not work out. You always have to, if you hold on long enough, something will come about.
Yeah.
And if you maintain an attitude that it's always going to work out, it always works out.
Yep.
It's not easy, but you kind of just, that's what you sign up for, I think.
And yeah, dude. I mean, I agree, because if you don't have like this kind of patience or like chill mindset, it will get to you. It will affect you in the business world, because you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And it's really scary. And so like having that stable job that pays you every 2 weeks or whatever, it makes you not take leaps of faith, because you're like, oh, well, it's consistent. It's here. I'm safe. I'm good. I don't have to worry. But in reality, if you have that drive, that want for more, that you get to decide, okay, well, I'm tired of people telling me how much I can make. I'm tired of people telling me when I have to work. Take the leap of faith, but you have to realize that you have to be disciplined. You have to be patient. You have to be fully aware that it might not work out.
Yeah.
But if you are disciplined and you're, passionate about it, it will.
Yeah.
Because you have that mindset of like, okay, worst case scenario, it doesn't work out, I get another job. And that was like a big turning point in me of like, okay, worst case scenario, it doesn't work out, I can get another job. Doesn't matter. I'll get something that pays every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I know it will work out. And I know others believe it will work out, because when I made my video, and it was on the spot, I didn't have a script or anything. You can check it out on my Instagram. It's pretty cool. It's the day I quit my job, and then the day after was my first day fully detailing. I took a 2-minute video saying, hey, like, I took this big leap of faith, and it's all because of my supporters. I got so much activity from them of saying, Jeffrey, I'm so proud of you. Jeffrey, it's about time you did it. All this like reassurance that I was making the right move. Mm-hmm. And that just pushed me over the top. Like, somebody shared with me, like, when you're taking that leap, whether it's going into your own business, or, you know, making a big decision or a little decision, you're like teetering, or you're in a car and you're trying to get out of like a snowbank, and you're going back and forth. Yeah. And it's like, okay, it's safe over here. Okay, back and forth. And then once you get over that hump, you had enough momentum to get over the hump, they say, don't stop. And that's what I'm doing. I got over the hump. I quit my job. I'm going all in. I'm not stopping. And I think it's so powerful that, like, you have to push yourself through it all. You can't rely on everyone to just like be there. You have to push yourself. And it's pretty sweet. Yeah. It's changed my life just within like a couple of days. I know it sounds crazy, but and it's probably more than just a couple of days. It's probably the last 6 months or a year that I've been doing this. But yeah, I'm not stopping. I'm going through with all the momentum I can, and yeah, I'm speechless some days.
I love it. One of the things that I wasn't prepared for is the emotional roller coaster that it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's always going to be things happening, like good things and maybe not so good things. You know, projects fall through, you make mistakes and all kinds of stuff. But really, like, your emotions and how you kind of handle that process has always been the biggest challenge, I think. Like, I remember it was this past Saturday, I was just like in this like funk, and I didn't know why, but it almost felt like I was like, I shouldn't even be running a business. This is just stupid. You know what I mean? And that lasted for the day or whatever. I woke up the next day and I felt super confident as a business owner. I was like, we're filming a podcast. We got a couple shoots booked this week. It's like, let's go. And I can't exactly explain why those feelings come and go.
Right.
But I know they do.
Yeah.
And managing them is, you know, I'm still learning how to manage them correctly.
What do you do to manage them exactly?
You know, usually, and this might be the case, but when I'm in a state of just like funk and I just can't like see the light, if you will.
Yeah.
I usually think that is my body telling me that you need a little rest from it. And 2 years into this journey, like, I still work a lot of weekends. There's not a ton of time I take off. You know, I'm still doing what I have to do for the business in a lot of scenarios.
Right.
In a case like that, where it happens on a Saturday, where I wasn't even working on Saturday, I don't think, it told me, it's like, hey, you need to take a break before you have to ramp back up. So like on Sunday, I pretty much spent the day cleaned my car up a little bit. Probably not as well as you, but you know, cleaned the house up, did laundry that needed to get done. And
yeah, a little reset day.
A little reset, man. Just went outside, walked the dog, just kind of took that moment. And, you know, that kind of got me back into a place where I was like, all right, let's attack this week and do it. But it's interesting, you know, 2 years into this journey, 2 years full-time into this journey, that's still the biggest challenge, I think.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really hard to manage your emotions and your social life and your personal, you know, things, and then have business relationships too, and try to manage that, especially with clients and like dealing with their emotions and like, you know, sometimes there's setbacks and Sometimes there's mistakes that happen on the job, or sometimes there's delays that we can't get to them as soon as they wanted and stuff like that. So I think what's important is checking yourself as a business owner. Like, I am big into journaling. I think therapy is a fantastic resource.
Yes,
I go to
sir.
therapy. And it's an outlet, because if you don't let it get out of you, it's only going to hinder you. So I call it like word vomit. So I'll either type it out or write it out. And it's just all the thoughts that are rushing through my head. Because like, as an entrepreneur, like, you're constantly thinking of what's next, what's going on, what can I do? And so I start the day out like that, and I end the day like that. And I just journal for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I time myself, and I put my phone away, and I just set the timer, and I go for 15 minutes, and I just write whatever's on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And it freshens me up.
Yeah.
It makes me so clear, so calm, and collected. And that's really important as a business owner, because we talked about earlier that you don't know.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee that you're going to get paid in a week or in 2 weeks or whatever, because you don't know. There's definitely steps that you can take to reassure that you will have that work lined up, and you will have more work coming. And there's that mindset thing. But if you're not taking the due diligence of like caring for yourself, you will slip, and you will slip into like those slumpy days, because it happens to anybody. You know, personal or work related, you will slip into those funky days that you just don't feel like doing jack, and then you just self-doubt just ruminates in there, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. I often talk about how entrepreneurship is this process of learning yourself more than you ever have in your life.
It's nuts, man.
Yeah.
And it's challenging, especially like in a relationship. Like, I have like my fiance, and she's an entrepreneur as well. And she does things totally different than what I would do.
Yeah. And for, so everybody knows, what does she do?
She works full time, and then she also owns an earring business. She makes her own jewelry.
Shout them out.
Pace Clay Co. That's my baby.
That's right. We'll link all the information to
she kills it. She's got new collections always going out. She sells all around the world.
I bought dog tags from her.
Dude, and the dog tag collection, she's getting into I don't know if I can well, screw it. She's got rings and necklaces coming out. More jewelry, dude. It looks fire, dude. It looks so sweet, and it's such her style, and like so many of her customers relate to her, and I love that. And she does a really good job.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah. So, but she does things totally different than what I do. And we sometimes butt heads about it, because like we're like so different in how we run our businesses. But keeping that separate is really important for us. Like leaning on each other when we need support, but asking for support and asking if it's okay to like talk about things. I learned that from therapy. That was really important too.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
A lot. You can learn a lot from yourself, but also others, and being an entrepreneur, it's so important. Yeah.
So we've talked a lot about entrepreneurship and the ins and outs of it. What I really want to shift our attention to is detailing. I want to talk about detailing and maybe try to pick some nuggets from you to share with the world, and why someone should consider caring for their car or hiring someone to take care of their car. So for you, why did you even get into detailing in the first place?
So let's see. I think it really goes, I just realized this like last year. So I've been doing detailing now professionally and owning my own business since 22. And when I realized this, I looked back and I was like, I used to clean my family's cars and my own car, and like do a really good job about it, because I just like being clean. Yeah. And that's just my thing. And not like to an extent that I can't deal with dirt or deal with things. It's more of just like, I just feel the satisfaction out of like looking at the before and after. And I think a lot of people relate to that, of like, oh wow, that's satisfying. And when I started my business, I was just kind of looking for something to be my own. Because I had a lot of people like starting things and doing things. And I was like, oh, I kind of want to be a part of that because it's like different.
Yeah.
And I worked in the optometry field, in the optical field, for over 10 years as an optician, and I loved it. I loved my patients. I loved everything that I did, but it wasn't it. It wasn't enough. There was always some like things that just were not for me, and it was mundane after a while, and then you just don't feel like you're going anywhere.
Yeah.
And when I got into detailing, I was just detailing my own car because I'm like a car fanatic. If you know me, you know that I can like point out a car and tell you exactly what kind of car that is and like what it's got under the hood and what it can pull out for horsepower. And I'm a gearhead. I love it. I love driving cars, fast, luxury, unique. I love it all. I love going to the car shows. So when I learned about products and I learned about techniques, I was just kind of like dabbling in it. Just, okay, I want to keep my own car clean, taken care of, and making sure that the longevity of it lasts. I think if you take care of your things, they last longer. And I'm just someone that's like, it's a big piece of my business is making, what's the word? Not reusable. What's the word? Sustainable. I'm really sustainable with my business. And that's a big piece is like using products that are good for the environment. So they're biodegradable. I'm also big on using techniques that are good for the car's longevity. So it sustains your vehicle for years. Like I have people that have cars from like early 2000s, like 20-year-old cars, and they look brand new because they are maintained. And that's what I want people to see. It's not all about like, okay, yeah, it's expensive to an extent. But if you think about it, your car was $20, $30, $50, $100,000 car. Yeah. Why would you let that go? What do you think about your house?
Yeah. So it's a car is basically in a lot of cases like the second biggest purchase you'll make in your life.
You're in your car on average. The average American is in their car 18 to 20 hours a week.
Ooh, almost a full day.
Like you're in your car a lot.
Yeah.
So it's really important to make sure that it's clean because that air that you breathe in your car is circulating. It's not leaving necessarily unless you have the windows down.
Yeah.
So you're breathing in that dirtiness, that muskiness, and that can create, unhealthiness to an extent. Some people develop allergies from it.
Yeah.
Some people, I've had cars that have had mold in their car and they don't even know. So it's really important to educate my customers about that. And that's a huge piece about it as well, as I love the education and like showing people what techniques we use, what products we use, and how it's going to benefit them.
Yeah.
Features and benefits is a great piece of the business that just shows the customer, okay, this is valuable.
Yeah.
And it makes sense why it's valuable. And they can justify, okay, I'm going to buy this now.
Yeah.
So what other questions do you want to know, I guess, about like detailing?
Yeah. So you talked about sustaining a vehicle and making sure you maintain it throughout time so that it lasts you a long time.
Yeah.
What are like 3, and it can be 4, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What are like a couple key points of like, these are things you want to maintain, you want to ensure you maintain from a detailer's perspective.
Yeah.
So not like oil changes on, every 3,000 miles or something like that. From a detail perspective, what are things we can do to make sure our cars last as long as we can make them?
I really have my philosophy, since we live in Michigan, it's a weathered state. So like we have winter, spring, summer, and fall. And so I always say either quarterly or 6 months, you should get your car detailed. And that's because you got a lot of people going in and out of your car. You pretty much live in your car because if you're on the go. So things are crumbs, dirt, salt is a big issue. So I would say every 3 months or 6 months, get your car detailed and we'll clean up all the salt residue. will clean all the crumbs, will clean out your air filter so you got healthy air flowing through your vents.
That's important.
Sometimes people spill in their car. That's really important to make sure that we're cleaning that out. The exterior, I only recommend it once a month, unless you're in the winter, to get your car cleaned. You don't need to clean it. I know there's car washes everywhere and you see a little dirt on your car and you're like, I gotta clean it off. That car wash is damaging your car more than the little dirt on your car.
Really?
Yeah. So the more you wash the car, the more you're taking away from the car. So think of it like your skin. So you don't shower 2-3 times a day, right? You only shower maybe once a day or every other day, right?
Okay, yes.
And so...
I mean, you should probably shower every day. And I digress.
No, everyone's got a different philosophy, but like you don't want to like over wash your skin because you're going to dry out your skin.
You're going to dry it. You're going to strip it of its natural...
Exactly.
Oils and
so things like your car have paint and clear coat. Clear coat's like your skin. So like it can be exfoliated, it can be polished, and it can be like brightened. And so if you clean it or you go through these automatic car washes on the daily, you're stripping of its capabilities. It's meant to protect the paint. And so the more you go through this car wash that has everyone else going through it, these microfibers collect all this debris and scratch your car. So it's stripping your clear coat away. And so that takes away from your longevity because in Michigan, we have a lot of like bad winters. So salt has such a chemical compound that when you're going through that car wash, you just stripped it of all the protection it has. And then you're going into the salt. So then you run the risk of like rust and breaking down the paint and then just breaking down the whole car's like structure. So it's really important, if you take anything from this, don't wash your car every day. You don't need it. You can clean your windows every day because those get dusty and dirty, but clean your car maybe twice a month. That's it. And if you want to get like a full service, like what I do, once a month is good. Once every 3 months is good. Once every 6 months is okay. But don't do it daily because it's not necessary, and don't do it weekly either because you're just stripping your car of a good quality wax or clear coat. So
yeah, man. You told me this after you detailed my car, and I got rid of my monthly car wash pass the next day.
Yeah, because they're everywhere. Because people want convenience, and they know that they want it fast. They want it now.
Yeah.
And so I get it. It looks clean, but you're really hurting your car. And a lot of people don't care about it, and they should care about it because it's like, that's not sustainable. We're just going through cars like they're, paper towel or something like that. We're just like, okay, well, it's fine. I'll buy another one. And it's like, no,
don't do that.
Don't do that because that's not helpful.
Would you say that touchless car washes are better than the ones that got the bristles?
And they're cheaper. I don't think anybody realizes that. Yeah, there's not many of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to drive to them. They might not be like where the bristle ones are because they do that on purpose because they want to put them on every corner they can because they know they can get you.
It's a business model that works.
Oh, it is a business model that works. But the touchless car washes are like $10 and you get a thorough wash and you get something that protects your car. They put a touchless spray of like detail ceramic, and that means it's just a sealant. It's not going to be like more than maybe like a few weeks of like hydrophobic, but it brightens, it protects, and it also seals onto your paint so you're not damaging it.
And that's what we need.
That's what you need.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like what we're learning about cars. Here's another question I got for you.
Yeah.
What can a detailer provide that the local car wash cannot?
We're going to go a lot deeper. So your car wash is a basic wash. They're using recycled water, first of all. So recycled, meaning they put it through a strainer. So all that water that was just done on the first car, they're literally just sucking that up into the pipes. the drains and then spraying your car down with it.
So they're spraying your car to clean it with dirty water.
That's right. That's how they do it. That's how their system's set up. It's rarely fresh water. It goes through a simple recycle process that it goes through the drain, goes through a strainer, and then pumps right back out of the sprayers. And then they add soap to it. That's all you're getting from a car wash. You're getting convenience, it's fast, and it's cheap for them as well. So they're making a better profit margin. For a detailer, you're getting fresh water. First of all, you're getting spotless fresh water. So there's no minerals. We use
distilled water?
Yeah, we use distilled water, so there's no mineral content. Well, there's probably some minerals, but like not a huge amount.
And why is that important?
Because minerals create those white water spots.
Okay, gotcha.
So the more you go to your car wash, the more you'll realize that you'll see those because they do dirty water because it's all minerals that are coming out of the other car. And then they spray it onto yours and they wipe it all in. And then they do a wax. So they do a sprayable wax at the end. So you're literally sealing those water spots into your car paint. And you might not notice them at first, but if you go very regularly, you will. Okay. And that's just damaging your car because it's taking away from the clear coat and it's getting closer to that paint. And when it hits that paint, you will end up having rust and break down the car paint. So we're going to do a full wash. So we're going to do your wheel wells. We're going to do your wheels. We're going to do the tires. We're going to do an undercarriage spray. We're going to do an engine bay cleaning. So we're going to clean your engine bay. A lot of people are like, why would you need to clean your engine? Everything is about cleaning. So dirt, water, dust gets into your engine bay. And if that stuff clogs up and damages your engine, you don't have a car, right?
Yeah.
So it's important to get that done. You don't have to get it done every time you go to a car wash, but get it done every 6 months with a detailer, or even yourself. If you want to spray it down yourself, it's just soap and water. That's all we're using in there, and then drying it.
Yeah.
And then we do a contact wash. So we're going to use foam for lubrication. So we use a really high quality soap. We're spraying down the whole car. The foam is actually encapsulating, is a good word, the dirt. So we're not like wiping the dirt all over your car. We're encapsulating it with the soap. So it literally like catches it and holds it and puts this like lubrication shield around the dirt particles so it doesn't scratch your paint. And then we go over it with a contact mitt. So the contact mitt is microfiber, and microfiber is like this spider web. So it clings to everything. So all that dirt clings into this microfiber mitt. So we go back and forth. Then we put it into our bucket, wring it out so all that dirt falls down into the bucket. And then we go back and forth, and then we spray it down. And then after that, we do a dry towel process. So it's a nice high plush towel that's going to dry it all, soak up all that water so there's no water spots, there's no scratches. And then afterward, we're going to do a decontamination process. So remember what I was saying about skin. When you exfoliate your face, you feel fresh, you feel like clear, brighter. Same thing with your clear coat. Your clear coat's like your skin. We're going to exfoliate it. So it feels rough. I want like people to realize that like next time you're outside and you touch your car paint, touch it. If it sounds like sandpaper when you're rubbing your hand on it, you need to get a decontamination on your car. So we're going to clay bar it. So we're going to clay bar the whole car, rinse that off. So then it's nice and smooth and brand new, it looks like. And then we're going to take polishing compound and a polisher, and we're going to polish every section of your paint. And that's going to enhance your paint. It's going to protect your paint, so it's better than a wax.
Yeah.
And you're going to get lubrication from it, or you're going to get hydrophobic abilities from it. And we're going to do, on the windows, we're going to do a streakless cleaning. So we're going to spray down, exfoliate your windows with clay bar, and then we're going to clean it so there's no water spots and no debris on there. Yeah.
I want everyone listening or watching to pay attention to the detail that Jeffrey is describing through this process. This isn't your quick 10 second, 15 second, 1 minute. Sorry, I don't want to get sued.
No, yeah.
No,
Let's
no.
not, yeah.
But
No, we don't want to drop anybody.
This
Yeah.
is not your typical car wash experience. Yes, that may be convenient and it may be cheap and this,
Right.
but you're also going to get cheap results.
Yeah.
What I'm hearing with the detail process is you're going to take a very meticulous approach to each part of the vehicle, clean it, restore it in a way that is going to ensure that your car can last as long as it possibly can.
Right.
And you're going to take your time to do that.
Right. We average, now that I have an employee, we average probably 2 to 3 hours on a full detail. And that means like, that would used to take me like 4 to 5 hours just by myself. So we're cutting it in half and it's great. But we go the extra mile. We're gonna make sure that there's like nothing on that car. It's gonna be spotless. It's gonna be showroom. It's gonna be like a brand new car to you. And I just did the math. I'm not gonna say who I took the prices from, but there's car wash packages, and like you could spend the monthly package. If you saved it for 12 months, you could buy 2 details from a detailer. And you would get a better clean, and you would only have to do it twice a year. And you would get full interior and exterior. Right now, you're just getting exterior, and it's a quick wash.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I know some of them have like the indoor like vacuuming facilities, which a lot of people like. But what I'm hearing is if longevity and making your purchase last a long time is top of mind for you, you want to invest in a high quality detailer.
You should. And like the thing with us is we're mobile, so we come wherever you are.
I heard that has grown in popularity. Like, I don't know, like if it's of the last 5 to 10 years or if it's more even like within the past year or two. Is that like something you capitalize on, or were you mobile from the jump?
I was mobile from the jump. And that's the thing is like, you can either be a shop owner or a mobile detailer. And it's rare that you kind of do both. Some are starting to do both, but you get so much convenience out of it because I go to people's workplace. They don't even need to see me. I go to their home. I get to meet them if they want. I get to go. I've done it on the go. Like I did one downtown. The person was at a coffee shop and I did it for them downtown.
That's what I'm talking about.
On the street.
Go get you a macchiato.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey's going to detail your car.
Yeah.
Get you a macchiato and bring a nice book and maybe a journal to dump all your thoughts on.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey's going to leave you squeaky clean.
Yeah. It's pretty sweet. Like we have like, I guess, capitalized on the convenience piece, but not by much. We still get mileage cost and like, I have employee costs and stuff like that. So we're making a good profit margin, but it's not like extreme. It's more of just like people like convenience.
Yeah.
So if they don't have to drop it off and they don't have to leave their car somewhere and they're stranded for hours, it makes it a lot easier. And we offer like pickup drop off as well. If they really can't even, meet us anywhere, like we'll just go pick it up if they don't have a space for us. So
yeah, and that's certainly that is top-notch marketing in 2025.
Yeah,
eliminating the hassle for the customer is so big.
It really is.
We all
nuts.
live crazy busy lives. We're all doing this, that, the other thing. If you can find a way to be more convenient to, like for us, we don't have a studio. We would like to get a studio one day, but for now, we just pull up to where you are and we do the photo shoot. We do the video shoot wherever you are.
Makes sense.
It's a big, we can turn your entire office or a room in your office into a whole podcast production studio.
Yeah, like today.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So that's a huge piece. That's any other things you want to offer in the mobile detailing space and why a why a detailer is important?
I would say in the grand scheme of things, like we want to make sure that you're getting the best quality service across the board. And being mobile, being a detailer, like we're attention to detail, and it really shows in our work. And that's a big thing for us, is like quality control is so high.
Yeah.
And when you go to a car wash, they don't care. They're making what they make, and that's fine. But they literally barely spray your car off, run you through the 20-foot line, car by car, bumper to bumper, and they're not doing a thorough job. Like, you can see when someone leaves a car wash, there's like swirl marks of dirt because they're not fully able to get every crevice. And with a detailer is like, I'm going to every inch of your car and I'm detailing it. Like, I'm using every little brush I can. Every spot is covered. And maybe people feel like that's like too much and that's not what they need, but fine, buy a new car in 10, 15 years and see if you get anything out of it.
You mentioned you just got your first employee.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I know that's special.
It is a special employee. My dad is my first employee. Well, not really my first employee, my first full-time employee. So I've had a part-timer before. It was a friend, Dominic. If you're watching this, shout out to you. He was an awesome
Shout
guy.
out to Dominic. I know Dominic.
Yeah, Dominic's
Dominic,
awesome.
he detailed our cars with you.
He did. And so he's pretty busy. So I need somebody that could actually like be available and be available for the 6 day a week scenario for me. And so my dad he's close to retirement. He's got 2 years before he's like fully retired. He's been a truck driver for years, and his company, they went bankrupt like a year or two ago. And like, he's just kind of like, what do I do? Do I keep doing truck driving or do I give something a shot? And he was so cool. He's like, dude, I see what you're doing. I see it. And he's an entrepreneur too. And he owns a tree service, and he is so cool to work with because I get all my work ethic from that guy. So he's got the hustle. He's got the energy, the ambition, the passion. Yeah. And he's got the ability to learn quickly. Yeah. And I love that. So it's been great. Like we're fully booked for this week, and he's excited to work every single day. And
that helps.
He looks young.
That's what's up.
Like, he's 62. Yeah. And he's crushing it with me. He's working 6 days a week. So we're loving it. I love you, Dad. So I'll talk to you soon.
That's so cool, man. Yeah. I think that is just one example of what entrepreneurship can do and what it can create for your life. One of the biggest pieces of advice, and probably the best piece of advice I got from another successful entrepreneur, I won't mention his name, maybe he'll come on here one day, but he told me that you need to figure out what your perfect day is. Yeah. And live it every day. Yeah. And
I just used that the other day because of you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so okay.
I dropped it in our other podcast.
Dude.
And I was like, Jake gave me this good advice.
Well, good. So that, for me, when I heard that, I was like, okay, create your perfect day and just live it every day. At the time, I was like, it can't be that simple, right? It can't just, you don't get to just decide what you get to do. Through entrepreneurship, you do.
You do.
You absolutely do. And maybe through having a full-time job, you can too, if you got a cool boss and a workplace. But when I started living through that lens, my personal life and my business life changed completely. Yeah. Business was so much better. And just my day-to-day life, like, thankfully, like within my entrepreneurial journey, I never had a feeling where it's like I didn't want to go to work. Yeah, I might not want to do something, or I might, not be in the mood, but it's never like this drudgery or like the Sunday scaries type feeling, right? Yeah. It's always like I'm looking forward to it. But part of the reason I always look forward to it is because I know that, I'm going to do some work and do some important things. And I got to edit, and editing is always tedious. But at the same time, 2 p.m., 3 p.m. each day, I'm taking my dog on an hour-long walk.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the morning, I wake up early. I'm enjoying 2 cups of coffee before I even get moving.
That's good.
Yeah, and my work sometimes takes me late into the evening, but I know that when I'm done with it, I lived a pretty cool day. May not be perfect. I'm still working on what perfect looks like to me.
Yeah.
And it'll probably never be perfect, but what I know now is like I love my day-to-day life.
I think it's just that the sense, like the perfect means that it's like your freedom day. Like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
And if you feel like you got everything you wanted to do done, then that's a perfect day to me.
That's right, man. This is a perfect day, man. Got to come here, sit down with you, talk about entrepreneurship and your business, and we've been talking about doing this for a while. So I'm just so grateful that we could do it today. Is there anything else you want to lift up, or any other questions you have for me before we wrap this thing up?
No, I think like just probably asking people like what their perfect day looks like, kind of like giving that as a homework assignment of like, hey, really think about it, whether it's like for your personal or your daily job, or if you have this entrepreneur like mindset, if you have your business, are you doing that? Are you feeling like you're satisfying your perfect day needs? You know, because if you're not doing it for you, who are you doing it for?
That's right.
So that's kind of where I got that perfect day mindset. I was like,
That's
who am
right.
I doing this for? Myself. I'm doing it to make sure I'm happy and I'm satisfied.
That's right, man. Jeffrey just gave you a homework assignment. Think about what your perfect day is and live out that perfect day.
Yeah.
You may not get it right the first time, but keep at it. And before you know it, you're going to be doing things that you really want to do. You're going to be fired up about the work you do, and ultimately just lead a better life for you and those around you.
Yeah.
This is cool, man. We talked about a lot of cool things. One thing I want to make sure I lift up is, how can people find you? If I'm in the Southwest Michigan area and I'm looking for a detailer, a quality detailer, how can I get connected to you?
So we got, we have our YouTube channel, J Squeaky Clean Auto. We have J Squeaky Clean Auto Detailing on Google. We have an awesome website that my fiance and I made. We have Instagram, J Squeaky Clean Auto Detailing on Instagram. Got a lot of fun content on there. We have Facebook, and we also have LinkedIn. LinkedIn is really popping off as well. We're doing really good on LinkedIn. So yeah, you can find me. If you need a detail, I'm your guy.
All right, get with them. I trust you. You will not be disappointed. I also want to give a special shout out to LM Visuals, aka LMV Studios. My guy Levi Maines at LMV Studios gifted us the opportunity to record this in his space today. It is located at 705 West Fulton Street in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Connect with LMV Studios for all your video and animation needs. That's it for this podcast. So thankful I got to sit down with my man, Jeffrey Harmon, the owner of J Squeaky Clean Auto Detailing. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you join me on the next one. And until next time.